To anyone seeing this video, you do not have to be stuck in a place that you don't want to be. You had to choose what your worst experience at work was, what would you choose? And I don't know why, but I'm sitting here doing my work, and you know, I have a certain love for my work these days that I think back to where I once was, and there's this one time, I don't think I would consider it my worst experience because I really didn't think too deep, but I think it's pretty freaking bad. I used to work at Popeyes, and one day, my first day, they had me rearranging ketchup packets. Now, these were ketchup packets that no one was ever gonna see. They were under the counter that the cashier stuck their hands into when you say, "Can I get some ketchup?" So they had me rearrange them and line them up perfectly. When I tell you, after I lined them up perfectly, when I stuck them back under the cash register, the cashier dug in it, took the ketchup out, and messed up all of it within 5 seconds. Do you know, first of all, I thought it was an awful idea to begin with. But then the cashier just confirmed it. They always say, oh, you gotta like do the grunt work. First of all, that's not grunt work. That's just purposeless work. I didn't want to smell like chicken and rearrange ketchup packets all day. I don't know, maybe it's a millennial thing, and you know, we do get crap for not wanting to do things that our older generation did, or they always say we expect things handed to us. One thing's for sure about me, I never expected anything handed to me, but I do know, first of all, what I do and what I don't like. Some things just don't make sense. Some of the grunt work that is done just does not make sense. Generation Y and Z, I think something that's different, that sets us apart from the previous generations, is that we have more opportunity now. We have more options. We have access to so much information that the older generations didn't. And I honestly think the older generations are a little jealous. I think that's really what it is. I don't know, it's always passed down from generation to generation. I'm sure their parents were like, this generation is a mess and all that, this, that, y'all do this, and we didn't have shoes, and you know, all that stuff. So I think that it just happened. I mean, but if you're striving to be something in, I don't know, corporate America, and there's certain things you have to do. I know being in the music industry, you have to, you know, do studio work and clean the bathrooms and all of that. But that's cool because the bathrooms need to be clean. But you're giving out ketchup packets. They're gonna be gone, and I'm not you know, maybe it's just that one thing that I can't get over the ketchup. I really can't. I think that I simply work and pick the work that I do because I don't want to do things that I don't want to do. But I think that you just gotta be you, no matter what generation you are. Don't do things that you don't like, or that simply doesn't make sense to you. You really have to weigh your options. It's like, am I doing this so I can move up the chain? Am I doing this? What's the overall outcome of doing this? I personally don't think anything's wrong with someone saying no, they don't want to do something. I feel like you should have people in positions that truly want to do it. People need to want to do their jobs, and sometimes people just don't want to do it. I think the more people we have leave the things that make them unhappy, we will be a much better place. And it sucks that we're at a place in the world where we have to do things we don't like for money. And I think that a lot of that also have to just do with the lack of resources and the lack of education, especially in urban and inner city communities. But the very platform you're watching me on right now, the internet, is a very, very, very powerful place. And this is on a totally different note, but I think that people should know that there are many resources out there. And if you're truly unhappy with your life, with your work, with your job, that you can change it. You can change it. You can make that decision to say, I won't do this anymore. I won't put up with this anymore. This makes me unhappy. Or it just doesn't make sense. That was my thing. It just didn't make sense. But anyways, you have the power, you have the control to get your hands on anything that you want, to obtain any knowledge that you want to make yourself happy. You don't have to work that job that just makes you miserable. Let me rephrase this. It's okay to work a job to get you someplace, whether it be a 9 to 5 or just odd jobs. It's giving you the tools to get you to a certain place. For my experience, engineering, you have to start where you're cleaning bathrooms, where you're setting up sessions and doing the booking and things like that before you can actually get to engineering. Internships, I mean, very, very common still these days. You kind of have to work up the ranks, and that's just the structure. That's just how it is. I mean, I had to do it before. When I joined the military, I was scrubbing. Oh my gosh, maybe this might be before the ketchup. I was the chrome shiner. Basically, I had to sit with a little cotton ball and scrub and shine the chrome on the floors. And as I was shining the chrome on the floors, people would step on them. But I did it because it was something that I committed to, and there was somewhere that I wanted to go. It was something that I needed to do to get there, you know. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. Just don't get stagnant and caught up in things where you will not grow. Just make sure whatever you do that you're growing. Whatever decisions you make, there's somewhere to grow. So I want to know some of you guys' experience. Like, what was your worst job? What are the worst experiences you had at your job? How many of you did things that you really didn't want to do, but you kept doing it anyway? And how many of y'all said, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm not doing this. To anyone seeing this video, you do not have to be stuck in a place that you don't want to be. There's resources, there's opportunity. The game has changed. There's so much out there. First of all, anything that you want already exists. You just have to go get it. And it's up to you to find those things that are inside of you that will get you there. All right? If you gotta work a 9 to 5, if you gotta work odd jobs, if you have to freelance to get to where you need to be, then do it. But let go of the things that don't serve you and let go of the things that just don't make sense. So until next time, stay true, love you, do you. Peace.
Oh, I feel amazing.